Materials. Here's a list of materials used in this project. Cardboards. Cardboards were used to make a few of the homes and bridges. Old plastic poster to make the base of the model. Plastic bottle and plastic cups to make the buildings. Plastic bags, holographic paste, bottle caps. For plant pots, printed cutout of miniature, garbage, and animals, sand, fake grass, colored stones, toy car, string, broom pointer, old plastic decorative vines, clear laminating plastic, glue gun, glue stick, and glitter foams were used in this project.
Process of creating the educational model on plastic pollution. The construction of educational model began by assembling small houses using pieces of cardboard, which were then covered with various colored plastic bags to add visual appeal. Additionally, plastic cups and bottles were cut and reshaped to form houses. The transparent plastic cups were painted with acrylic in different colors to enhance their appearance. For the base of the model, an old stiff plastic poster was cut and glued together. A hole was made on one side of the base and the top of the plastic bottles was attached to serve as a drainage outlet for water used during demonstration. A layer of glitter foam was then placed over the base to add texture and color. Stiff laminating plastic was cut and shaped into canals and drains, which were positioned strategically on the model. Roads were created using glitter foam and bridges were formed from cardboard cover with the same material. Sand was spread across the base to mimic a natural terrain. To depict plastic pollution, printed cutouts of small animals and miniature garbage items were glued onto the model. Different types of plastic waste was also placed within the drain and canals for a realistic effect. Fake grass and colored stones were added along the roadside to street areas for detail. Electric poles were made from broomsticks with string attached to represent electrical wires. Plastic decorative vines were cut and glued into bottle caps to form potted plants. Printed images of doors and windows were pasted onto the plastic buildings to enhance the realism. The trees, handles of plastic spoons were curved and green plastic pieces were glued on top. Finally, a small toy car was added to complete the model.
We were tasked with creating a project under the educational category, which focuses on the issue plastic pollution. Our model was inspired by our school environment where, despite repeated reminders to not litter, many pupils continue to do so. In recognizing that young minds are highly impressionable, we decided to develop an educational model that visually represents plastic pollution and its harmful effects on the environment. Uniquely, our model uses plastic waste, the very problem which we aim to highlight, as the primary material. This hands-on project allows pupils to observe and engage directly with the consequences of plastic pollution. Educating the younger generation about this global issue is vital in fostering awareness and encouraging action to protect the environment for future generations. Okay, so here you have a live demonstration of how our model works. In the classroom, using this model as a teaching instrument, we can pour water into the drain that's heavily clogged by plastics, and this would demonstrate, it will show how the water is not flowing freely through that drain. It's clogged. As a result, as you can see in the video, the water is overflown onto the land. Now, during this demonstration, we can ask pupils a number of questions. Basically, what do they observe? Let us imagine the water being poured into the drain was rain, and think of our environment during heavy rainfalls. What is going to happen? Do they think it's going to lead to flooding? Given that the water cannot flow freely through the drain, will the water be stagnated? What will happen when water becomes stagnated? It's going to be a breeding ground for mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases and so forth. The model also has plastics and garbage in and around the environment. We can also ask our pupils to observe the different scenery provided and what they think would happen to those plastics on the land. This also brings about the concept of microplastics. Also, pupils can consider its harmful effects on animals on the land or living on the land. For instance, you can have dogs and cats ingesting various plastics which may contain food. You have aquatic animals also being affected. All of these concepts will be incorporated and considered when we're using this model. So it's not only bringing awareness of plastic pollution, but rather it is bringing awareness of the consequences of plastic pollution.